What up, people? Happy Wednesday. Kamari Ellis here. It is the Finance Rebel Show, and today is Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do Wealthy Wednesdays. All right, and y'all know that's the day where I answer your money questions, any questions you might have, taxes, stock, insurance, business, entrepreneurship. I think I said that right. Entrepreneurship, business, same thing, right? But those are the questions that I answer every week. As we get going, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about a couple of things. Okay, I did get it right. All right, great. All right, so as we get ready to get going, I want to talk about a conversation I had with my client. So here's the question that I have for you all. Do you need to make more money, or do you need to spend less money? Matter of fact, let me throw that on the screen. Do you need to make more money, or do you need to spend less money? I have that conversation a lot of times with a lot of people. And, I just to kind of give the farm away a little bit in the beginning, I think everybody can make more money, right? But you have to kind of do things in order and alignment and steps, and there's a way about going about doing things. So listen, y'all, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. Give me 1 second. I want to put this up on the screen now. Do you need to make more money, or do you need to spend? Do you need to spend less money? So what do y'all think about that? Your lives, what do you think you need? Do you need to make more money, or do you need to spend less money? And again, I like I said, I think to a certain degree, I think I would almost say that everybody needs to make more money. However, it takes time to do that. It takes some planning to do that. It takes some execution to do that. It takes some sacrifice to do that. All right, so let's jump into the story. So like I said, I have a client who is, saying that he needs to make more money. And for the sake of conversation, I want to give the person a name. Let's call that person Rollo. Now, y'all have heard me talk about Rollo before. All right. And so the idea is they feel that they need to make more money. Now, what's the profile of Rollo? Man, middle-aged, makes six figures, low six figures, but doesn't control their spending, doesn't know what their spending is, doesn't think about what they spend before they spend it. They just spend. They don't believe in sacrificing. Takes a whole lot of money and withdrawals out of the ATM. This has been an ongoing conversation, ongoing project. And by the way, I usually don't talk client business. I have the permission of the client to talk business. Obviously, I'm protecting the innocence, so the name's Rollo isn't a real name, right? So again, they feel they need to make more money, even though they make six figures. Mind you, the average American makes about 50 grand a year, give or take. All right, so they feel that they need to make more money. Why? Their expenses keep increasing. Even though they're making more money now than what they made 5 years ago. Guess what? Their expenses increased as well. So I'm going to give like little clues here. So they make six figures, their expenses keep growing. So then they feel the need to continue to make more money. And it's fine. You can make more money. There's nothing wrong with making more money. However, anybody knows when we talk about creating wealth or getting rich, whatever terms you want to use, it's not just about how much you make. It's also about how much you keep. One of the reasons why I talk about tax so much is because tax is one of the biggest expenses you will ever have across your lifetime. You get taxed on everything. But anyway, back to Rollo. So again, we're having this conversation. And I'm like, well, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, you don't need to make more money. You make plenty of money. What you have to do is you have to become a better steward of the money that you already have. You have to become a better steward of the blessings that are already being bestowed upon you. They didn't like that idea. They said they just want to make more money. And I said, listen, you can make more money. More money is good. More money is admirable. More money is great. But however, if you follow the same pattern that you already have, you're going to wind up in the same situation, whether you're making 6 figures now, or if you're making 7 or 8 figures. It won't matter. You won't be able to amass anything because your mindset is such that you want to spend first instead of save first, instead of invest first. There's a principle in a book I talk about a lot. Y'all probably can tell me what the book is before I even get it out of my mouth. The Richest Man in Babylon. So there's a saying in The Richest Man in Babylon that some people don't like. I don't have a problem with it, but I get it. There's a saying in The Richest Man in Babylon. The saying goes, make slaves out of your money. What that essentially means is make your money work for you. Don't work for your money. And so if you're working for your money, instead of making your money work for you, that is a lonely proposition. Why do I say it's a lonely proposition? Because if you're never able to flip it and use your money to work for you, you'll always have to work for money. So what happens when you get a little older and your body starts to break down and you don't want to do it anymore? What happens if you just want to take a break? You can't afford to take a break. What happens when a pandemic comes and you're out of a job? You're kind of forced to keep working in positions and situations that may not be the healthiest for you. So you have to really think about all these things before you just start saying, I need to make more money. Now, listen, like I said, I think everybody needs to make more money. I think most people don't make what their true value is, but most people don't really know what their true value is. Most people don't know what they're calling their talent, their purpose is. They just kind of fell into a job and that's what they do. That's the real big reason why most people are unhappy, right? But once you get in alignment, y'all know I've been talking about this a lot, right? But once you get into alignment, a lot of the money issues tend to go away. And when you look at, like, everybody loves to talk about the rich people. All right, fine. Let's talk about the billionaires. When you look at what they do, a lot of times they didn't do it for money at first, right? They did it because they were working in alignment with what their purpose was, what their calling is, what they're passionate about. Zuckerberg was a coder. Gates was a coder. Warren Buffett was always interested in business and investing. It's kind of funny how they still align with the businesses, their passions, their purposes, still align with what they made their billions with. And so when you can do that, it's not an issue. Oprah Winfrey, she was in alignment with helping people and trying to be impactful. Jay-Z was in alignment with his music creation, even when he wasn't, quote unquote, making music, right? So once you get in alignment with that, sky's the limit. And then you don't always think about just selling first or making money first, or should I say spending first. You're thinking about creating, you're thinking about building, you're thinking about investing, you're thinking about developing. You're not just preoccupied with spending. But again, like I said, this client, he feels he needs to make more money. Sure, make more money. But like I said, what happens when you go from six figures to seven figures, or six figures, low six figures to mid six figures. Your taxes increase and your spending 9 times out of 10 increases. So what's the real formula? What's the real solution? Everybody knows it. We've heard it since we was kids. Live below your lifestyle. At least to start, right? If you live below your lifestyle, if you save more, if you become a rabid saver, like I love the principles of the FIRE movement. They believe in saving 70% of their income. I know some people say, oh my God, 70% of your income, how can you do that? Well, one, you can make more money, right? So think about it like this. If you make $100,000 a year, forget the taxes, and you live on 30,000, how powerful could that be? And you're saving the 70. And then every time you get an increase, you go on and on and on. Now, those are just benchmarks. It's not etched in stone. That's not the Bible, y'all. There's some fluctuations to it, but if that's the goal, just think about what would happen if you could really save 70% of your income. What would happen? Like, can you really think about that? Could you really make your money work for you? All right, so maybe you can't do 30%. Maybe you do 40%. What would happen to your life? What would life look like if you were saving 60%, right? And when I say 40%, living on 40%. By the way, I get it, especially for some of my single mothers. I get it. It's rough. Some of my single fathers, I get it. It's rough. But again, what would happen? Would your mindset go from, oh, I need to buy this new trinket, instead of, oh, I need to develop a skill, so I'm going to invest into that skill for myself so I can create and make more money and more tools. There's a post on my Instagram post, and my man Garen was viciously debating me. It's either today or yesterday, talking about multiple streams of income. Matter of fact, let me pull that up. Let me pull it up. And trust me, this is in alignment with the story that I'm telling. This is in alignment with the story that I'm telling. And while I'm pulling that up, give me 1 second, y'all. While you're waiting for me to pull this up, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Share this out with somebody who is interested in up-leveling their financial IQ. All right. Anybody who's looking to learn about money and the power of money when used positively, when used with cultural purpose. All right, so let me pull this up on the screen real quick. But if you know any of those type folks that want to learn, invite them on in. Invite them to the conversation. All right, so post says, if your first stream of income ain't flowing, the last thing you need to be worried about is having multiple of them. That's almost like saying, right, and forgive me, y'all, that's just an example, right? But that's almost like saying, if your first wife ain't flowing, you need to go get another one. Well, if you can't make it work with the first wife, how you gonna make it work with two wives, right? Maybe you need to leave the first wife or first husband, whatever way you rock, and go get a better one, or one that's in alignment with you. But that was a post I found from Monty Woodard. I love Monty Woodard stuff. He's really, really dope. And so I got a lot of pushback on that. And my man Garen, shout out to Garen. Garen's pretty dope. He's a smart dude. And he just felt the statement needed to be expounded. I didn't think the statement needed to be expounded. And everybody that was checking it out didn't feel like it needed to be expounded. But he started to talk about, savings and investing. And I'm like, savings and investing is great. Y'all know I love the stock market. However, if you're still scratching and scraping and you absolutely have no idea what you want to do in life, maybe it's better to invest in figuring out what you want to do in life. Maybe. Just maybe. Right? Because then once you figure out what you want to do in life, the money flow changes. It changes drastically. But, oftentimes we are so in tune with what everybody else is doing. we're so in tune with what the masses are saying or following the rest of the herd, it becomes dangerous. It becomes dangerous. But again, going back to the story at hand, right? Client wants to make more money. I'm saying, client, making more money is great, but what you really need to do is save more money, control your money. So listen, y'all, don't forget about those principles. Again, it's great to make six figures, but if you make six figures and you're spending 6.5 figures because a lot of it's ran up on credit card debt, are you really making six figures, or are you hustling backwards? A lot of times we're hustling backwards. So listen, y'all, that's my story for today, right? So if y'all got any questions, I see there's some comments over on the Facebooks and YouTubes. And okay, I got a lot of questions. All right, my bad, y'all. And we'll get right to them. Remember, y'all, again, it's not how much you make, it's about how much you keep. All right, so Dominique, what's up? B Barbie, how are you? What's up, Trey? How are you? J Rock fam, Just Mrs. Kenya James, Yolanda, what's up, Jadon? Jack, what's up, Jack? Little Rip Terrell, Grants, what's up, Grants? Robert Lewis, how are you, sir? Mrs. Engineer, Tiffany Beautiful, Exclusively Blue, and I can't see that one. JCW, MKW, how are you? How was everybody today? All right, I see I got a bunch of folks over here on Facebook and YouTube as well. All right, so Shauna says, hey, Shauna, make more. All right, Janelle says, spend less. All right, Don Johnson says, spend less. If making more money eats into too much of my time, I would rather cut the BS. Facts. I hear you. I hear you. Doing my, how are you? Rochelle Hannibal. Hey, Rochelle, we got to make this happen. Don's going to beat me up. So she says, of the last 6 years, I've been a financial coach instructor. I will say about 85% of the people I meet have a spending problem. All right, so Rochelle's in the game too, just like me. 6 years experience, spending problem. So she's co-signing what I said. Y'all know I call that the spender's disease. Most people have a spender's disease. Remember, the U.S. economy is built on roughly 70% personal spending. What does that tell you? They want you to spend. They got it down to a science. All right, Doing Well says, if I lived in PA, how would I leave my children something without paying inheritance tax? Buy them life insurance and have the life insurance pay for the inheritance tax. That's one way you can do it. But normally you can't get around inheritance tax. But I would have to get Courtney Richardson, who's my tax attorney, who's always rocking with me. Y'all know Courtney. She could give a better answer because she actually used to work with inheritance tax. She's very passionate about people overpaying inheritance tax. I know y'all probably like, why are they talking about inheritance tax? That's not cool. That's not fun. That's not sexy. That's life. Because at some point, we are going to be out of here. I heard Mos Def say, we're all kind of walking this journey back to God, something like that. It was so eloquent. It was so dope. And he's right. I mean, at some point, we're going to be out of here. And what are you going to do to make sure that you're taking care of the next generation of people to come behind you? All right. So Rich says, I always recommend The Richest Man in Babylon. That book is timeless. Yes, it is. It is. All right. Don Johnson says, controlling your money is extremely important. Underrated part of personal finance. Yep, I agree. I agree. Hey, Victor, how you doing? Oh, you know what, Victor? You sent me a question earlier, too. Let me try to pull that up. Let me see if I can pull it up as we're doing it. Good vibes. Yes, yes, yes. Always trying to keep the vibes good. All right, Don says, I do 60% overtime. It's because it's become extremely easy when you realize you don't need that much stuff to live. Facts. Facts. Jose, what's up, brother? How are you? Yep, spend less. I begun cooking more at home and on a new attempt at quitting smoking. Jose, you smoke? Oh, yeah, we need that, brother. We need you off them things. I need you to live, brother. I need you to live. So, all right. Let me see, Victor, if I can pull up your question. I gotta remember it. Let me just make sure I get it right. All right, so I know Victor's moving. I believe Victor's moving from the NYC to or New York State to Florida. Victor's moving to again from New York to Florida, and Victor asked, what does he need to think about or worry about in terms of taxes? And so what I said to him, he's moving to Florida. Florida is a no income tax state. So basically everything's going to be the same, except he doesn't have to file a tax return with New York State. Now, caveat. We are in 2021. It's May. So if you've lived in New York from now till May, from January to May, about half the year, you'll still need to file a tax return with New York as a part year resident. You don't have to worry about anything but Florida. And obviously everybody has to file with the IRS, no matter what state you're in. I mean, unless you move overseas. So let me just make sure, let me just double check that I got it right. Let me just make sure I got it right. All right, so I'm soon going to change my residency, driver's license wise, to Florida, but work in New York. How would that work when I do my taxes? Oh, wait a minute. There's a snafu there. I do travel often in Florida, as well as I work for Delta. So, okay. So you're still going to be living in Florida, but working in New York. So you're still going to need to file a New York tax return, and you're going to have to file a probably a non-resident tax return if you're commuting back and forth. And New York does not like when people leave their state to move to Florida, especially the rich folks. Yep. So, but yeah, you'll still, like I said, you'll still need to file the New York tax return. I'm not sure if you're in New York or New York City. You'll still need to do that. You'll still need to file with the IRS. So, it's not super complicated. Yes, Jose, you can definitely do it. Kick the stick, brother. Kick the stick. All right. Miss 527. I'm good. How are you? Taid, what's up, Taid? How are you? Yeah, back again. I'm always here every Wednesday. I am good. Miss 527. I'm good. Miss, you know what? Miss 520. Oh, okay. Miss Edith is on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, it looks like. Thank you. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. Y'all know I'm fighting the algorithms. Please like, comment, and share. Share this with 3 people. All right. Like the video, because the algorithms love to play tricks. I'm not going to be on here long because y'all know tax season is coming to a close and I still got work to do. If you have not filed your taxes yet and you don't think you can get it done by Monday, which is tax deadline, tax D-Day, May 17th, file an extension, please. Please file an extension. All right. Remember, an extension is not an extension to pay your tax liability. It's only an extension to file. All right. Make sure that you file your extensions. All right. Davida Pray, my tax sister. Davida Pray, why don't you have CPA at the end of that? Let people know that you're in business. All right, you're jumping around. Okay. So, all right, who has questions? Like I said, I'm not staying on too long tonight, y'all. Just here in and out. Now, I do have something else we could check out. No, that's not enough. You need to remind people everywhere you go. Davida Pray, Burrell, Go ahead, Victor. Throw your question in. Davita Pray. Oh, I got all my CPAs joining tonight. Davita Pray, CPA. Let everybody know, because everybody doesn't always go back to your profile to see what kind of work you do. But if you let them know you're a CPA and they say, "Hey, I talk to Davita all the time. She's a CPA. Maybe she can help me with taxes. Maybe she can help me with an audit. Maybe she can help me with some mortgage paperwork," right? Tax time. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm trying to be like you, JT. You out here killing the Facebooks and the YouTubes. You killing the game. I'm loving the topics you're covering. And thank you for the super chat. You know, like I said, JT, you are going to spoil me because I didn't even acknowledge a super chat at first, right? Remember, I was super excited when people were giving me super chats. JT was one of the first, and now I'm getting kind of used to them. I don't want to take nothing for granted. Nothing for granted. So thank you again, sir. Thank you. All right. With the dip in the market, would you suggest investors to protect assets? With the dip in the market, I would suggest investors rethink their time horizon. Because everybody, like, it's funny, me and Davita talk about this all the time, because Davita is also a financial planner as well. Matter of fact, JT is also a financial planner and a CPA. So y'all know, if I got tax pros, like real tax pros in my comment section, I can't go but too crazy with y'all, right? They go and check me. And that's cool because we all need to be accountable. But coming back to Jose's question, right? With the dip in the market, would you suggest investors to protect assets? Well, everybody, I've had young people say, and I'm jumping around a little bit on you, but I've had some millennials say, well, you know, research doesn't matter anymore. All these GameStop, Reddit gang folks. I would say the fundamentals always matter. Now, does the fundamentals in the market, the business fundamentals of a company and the stock market get separated? Yes, happens all the time. If you want to talk about efficient market theory and how the markets aren't always efficient, right now is one of those times. Again, what's your time horizon? The market's always going to ebb and flow. Always, because the market is just basically made up of people, right? It's one of the perfect examples of human emotions. I tell y'all supply and demand all the time. It is supply and demand. However, it's also fueled by emotions. Those emotions fuel the supply and demand. So you have to keep that in mind. But I would think, again, time horizon. When do you need the money? How long can that money be at risk? If you are in what they call the retirement red zone, 5 years, you're planning on retiring 5 years from now, you really need to be thinking about protecting your bread. You really need to be thinking about when you go to retire and you no longer have a paycheck coming to you, how can you take the assets that you might have in your pension, your 401k plan, any other savings you may have? How are you going to turn that into a paycheck to pay your bills, so you don't have to eat cat food when you go into retirement? Now, going back, what I tell Rollo, right? That's what he's talking about, my client, Rollo. I said, you keep going the way you're going, you're going to wind up a greeter at Walmart when you're about 72 and a half. And I tell him that because, not that there's anything wrong with working at Walmart, because there's not. What is wrong is having to work there when you got plenty of opportunity now, then you're blowing it. And I don't feel any pity, any empathy, any sympathy for somebody who blew a great opportunity. This person, my client, has a position in a situation where he's very, very gifted, very, very blessed and gifted to be able to do some things that, in my opinion, he takes for granted. And I just want to see him be able to be well situated. But that's one of the problems I have with working in this position. Sometimes I care too much. You can never care more than the person. I can't care more than a client. That's dangerous. Like, the coach should never care more than the player. If the player don't want to win, how can the coach get the player to want to win? They got to want to do it themselves. But that's within, a lot of things, most things in life. People don't want to do it. They want to do it. So Jose, again, think about time horizon. Think about what your asset allocation looks like. Or people should be thinking about what their asset allocation looks like. Should they be taking profits? Y'all saw I talked about Dogecoin. I think, and I'm thankful for a lot of you who watched that video on YouTube, ran it up. If you get money, right? And when I say get money, if you've made profit in a position and you got lucky on it and it's exceeded all your expectations, it will behoove you to take some profits. So I use Dogecoin, right? Y'all saw me talk about Dogecoin. I said, I put $50 in Dogecoin. Disclaimer, this is not an investment recommendation to buy or sell any crypto, any stock. This show is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Before you buy or sell security, make sure you check in with your investment and or tax advisor and or legal representation as well. All right. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. So again, looking at Dogecoin, right? I brought Dogecoin in a little under 26%. For the record, I could give two hootenannies about Dogecoin. I don't think it's going to the moon. I just got to do stuff for illustration purposes. All right, like I did here. So Dogecoin went from 26 or 27 cents up to, it was like 62 cents. Oh, we done doubled our money real quick. Care if it's $50, the discipline's a discipline. My discipline tells me something runs that quick. Oh, I'm taking some money off the table. I took $25 off the table. Where's Dogecoin at now? Can anybody give me a quote on Dogecoin? Somebody throw that in the chat for me. Right? So, you know, that's the discipline. I tell people that earlier a lot. I brought some forward leaps earlier. What's a leap? A leap is a long-term options contract in forward. Right? Y'all know I've been buying forward. Again, this is just for educational purposes, y'all. They went up a lot, more than I expected. I sold some, got my money, took my capital off the table. When we're talking about making money, when we're talking about wealth creation, when we're talking about wealth protection, when we're talking about wealth transfer, you have to have discipline for a reason. So for those who made some money in this dip, even though I know a lot of you haven't, I'm seeing your tax records. I'm seeing the wash sales. I'm seeing like the gazillion transactions you're doing to make $3. No shade. I've been there. I've done that. But hey, think about your time horizon. Go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. All right. So I don't care if your Facebook profile is not a business profile. We in business to do business. You're always in business. I'm in business, folks. Yes, I do these. It's truly outreach to the community. But I want to make money. I don't want to make any qualms about it. I don't want anybody to be confused. I am here to do business, always. All right. I am a black capitalist. I don't want y'all ever to be confused about this. So if I see an opportunity to give value, I'm going to take it if it's in alignment with what I'm trying to do. All right. So answering Victor's question. All right. So Victor says, I am soon going to change my driver's license in New York. Residents were there too. We're working full time in New York. How's it going to work? Yeah. So that's the one I answered. I came back. I saw it. I pulled it up. So even though you're in Florida, like I said, Florida is, it does not tax income in Florida on individuals, right? However, you will still need to file a tax return in New York, whether you are a non-resident, a part-time resident, or full-time resident, whatever your status is. And yes, you will need to file with the IRS. JT, you're an EA? Wait a minute. You're a CPA, aren't you? Debt-free dad. Oh, I love that. I love that. How are you? Welcome. All right. Who determines when the tax code changes? Well, I'll give you the long answer. The taxpayers who empower Congress to change taxes. But every time when Congress decided, and the president, right? because we saw Trump push through a major tax bill overhaul in 2017, but that was with the cooperation of Congress. But Congress is the tax daddy, right? Congress is the real tax papa. All right. They see fit now. I don't know if y'all saw that post I put up. I said, matter of fact, shout out to Davita. We were talking on the phone. We kind of worked this out. I said something, she said something, and then this post came to life. I said, taxes are not logical. They are legal. And there's a difference. Right? Taxes are not logical. They are legal. Now, a lot of the things that get thrown into taxes, if you follow it, I'm not a wonk, but I get there. I get wonky sometimes about politics. You'll see these packages. The Republicans were complaining about pork barrel spending for the last stimulus package that got passed. Guess what? There's pork barrel spending in every bill that's passed through Congress. What is pork barrel spending? Usually some kind of special interest that an elected official might have, usually something for their home district, for their constituents, whether it's bringing money back in terms of building a power plant or a trash incinerator or development of a waterfront or anything like that. All right. James Bronner. What's up, Jimmy? How are you? Hey, Kamar, I'm listening, but bathing my son. Listen, man, bathe your son. I have a question. What are your views on OTC stocks? Okay. I have seen a few suggested in various forums that seem interesting and cheap. And regarding crypto, do you have to have multiple wallets or do you have one wallet for all tokens? So I am not the crypto guru. Let's start off with that. I will refer to Courtney, Jimmy, and Corey over at Bottomhood. Y'all know those my brothers and sisters right there. So check them out. They are heavy into crypto. I'm not, they call me a crypto hater. I'm not a crypto hater. I just feel that I know everybody wants to be in the crypto space. I get it. I know a lot of black folks, because most of my audience is black, right? I know a lot of black folks feel like we're always late to the train. I get that, right? In terms of these wealth opportunities, we're always late to the train because we're not following the tech and the tech changes. However, a lot of times when these things are new, there's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of ups and downs. Sadly, many of us have not done the basics. We've not formed a great financial foundation. And so since I cater my platform to beginners who are just getting on their wealth journey, their investment journey, I still want y'all to go to the basics. The basics. Can we save? Can we become great savers? Then can we become, well, not then, but can we become great investors? And then, yeah, we can do all the other fancy stuff. Now, the other part of Jimmy's question was, what are your views on OTC stock? OTC stock, over-the-counter stock, or OTC, over-the-counter. Those are usually pink sheets. 9 times out of 10, or let's say 8 times out of 10, those are usually penny stocks. If y'all been rocking with me for a minute, y'all know I hate what? I hate penny stocks. I think they're the spawns of the devil. Because penny stocks are very easily succumb to pump and dump schemes. Hey, kind of like that Doji thingy, the thing that's going to the moon. Did anybody ever get me a price on Doge? Or y'all gonna make me do all the work? Right, so I'm not a big fan of OTC. Like, cool. I'm actually looking at some OTC now, but it's not a penny stock. It's above $5, and it's already a well-established company. Let's see, Dogecoin price. Dogecoin is trading at 42 cents. Trading at 42 cents. It was at 74. Then your boy, PT Barnum, the second coming, I'm talking about the founder of Tesla. If y'all haven't been following me, said Doge is awesome. Now, going back to the SNL skit, right? He said Doge was awesome. It was a joke to him. I don't know if he sold it or maybe he's shorting it. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. It is what it is. King Courtney, how are you? Justin, bro, how are you? Bullock Patrice, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, y'all, if you are just now joining and watching the Finance Robo Show, I'm Kamari Ellis. Today is Wednesday. Today is our Wealthy Wednesday segment where I typically answer all your money questions. All right. No questions are dumb. No questions are bad. Go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll be on for maybe another 10 more minutes. And then I got to do some more work before I go to sleep. All right. So listen, I'm not trying to chase after. I'm not trying to chase after anything. I'm not trying to chase after women, after liquor, after drugs, after stocks, after cryptocurrency. I'm not trying to chase. What do I mean by chase? Some people feel like they're starting late. They want to try to catch up. And so then they'll pile a whole bunch of money into a thing or a whole bunch of effort and resources into a thing. The thing should be in alignment. But listen, we all live in an abundant universe. So if I miss Dogecoin, guess what? There'll be another one. There'll be something even better. All right. So Jimmy, I hope that answered your question. But again, for many of you, I want y'all to look at the question that's streaming. Do you need to make more money or do you need to spend less money? All right. Put your answer in the chat. All right. So Debt Free Life says, would you do a 1031 flip in this housing market? I was selling one rental to a unit to two more. Okay. So I was selling one unit to get two more. Is that what you're saying? But I'm thinking it's a seller's market, take profit, pay capital gains tax, and invest the profits. Again, what's your strategy? What's your time horizon? Why do you want to sell? Why do you want to sell? Does it make sense to sell? Was that in your strategy or your plan to sell? Right. Oh, purchase two more. Got you. I don't know how long you've owned it. Listen, I've never done a 1031. I've kind of advised on a couple, just to be totally transparent, honest. I do understand the process. Usually the process of a 1031 tax-free exchange is usually in real estate. Well, not usually, it is in real estate when you're exchanging like-kind property. So people will usually have a lot of gain in one, let's say, house or real estate investment. All right, just for illustration, let's say you got a property that's worth $1 million and you have $500,000 of equity in it, and you want to do something bigger and better with that $500,000. But one of the issues with owning real estate and building equity in it is it's kind of like a forced savings, and you can't necessarily always get easy access to it. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, you can refinance or you can do a HELOC or whatever. Yeah, but you still have to go through a process, and that process usually involves a financial institution. All right. So you say, you know what, I want to try to get something bigger. I want to put these monies to work. So then you're able to say, you know what, if I get this $500,000 out, I can then put that money on a $2 million building, right? That will be enough for a $2 million building. So you sell the property, you have an intermediary in the middle, the person that facilitates the 1031. There's usually a time horizon. I want to say it's either 60 or 90 days from the time that you sell until the time you have to complete the new purchase of the property. So once you sell, all the money, all the proceeds go to the intermediary. And then once you find and identify your new property that you want to buy, the intermediary then transfers the money, puts it all in escrow, and then you can go to close on that. And so now that $2 million property, you have roughly a $500,000 deposit on it, and you're able to kind of build up. So you went from a $1 million property to a $2 million property. Don't forget, there's fees. So I see, again, I've been I work with a lot of real estate investors, a couple of real estate developers. 1031 exchanges aren't as sweet as everybody makes them out to be. They're not free. They're not cheap. And, if you got $100,000 property with maybe 20% equity, $20,000, it might not be worth it. So, again, it just depends. So again, I don't know enough to really give you, just want to give you an example of that. But yes, 1031 exchange can be a great way to exchange or defer your capital gains tax, right? And reinvest into something else. That free dad, I hope that answered your market. Usually most people can't predict the market in a consistent, predictable manner. There's been a couple of cats, but not many. All right, 46 cents on those. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hold on. The comments jumped on me. Give me 1 second. Yes, small to the devil. Oh, why did I think you wanted to? Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were CPA, JT. All right. Well, we part of the EA gang together. That's what's up, brother. That's what's up. All right. The comments jumped on me a minute, so give me a second. 48 cents. All right. I'm seeing 42, y'all. Yes, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. So JT, we have a very similar path, even though I never took the CFP. I was a financial advisor for a while. And I was actually institutional money manager working with an institutional firm. That's right. My business is in business to do business, and I am my business. Me, myself, and I am my business. So I have a question. I put $100. I earned $800. Should I take the $800 and reinvest? Your opinion only. I know this is for education and entertainment purposes only. I mean, that's very vague, Ms. Edith. Maybe not. I don't know. When do you need the money? What's it for? What's the tax liability on it? You have to factor in all those things. You got to factor in all those things. And yes, penny stocks are the spawns of the devil, folks. Okay, your question is about crypto. All right, throw it in there. No problem, Jimmy. Yep, spend less. Most of us need to spend less. Now, listen, there was a time where I was broke. I was doing everything under the sun to make money legally. I needed to make more money. Right? It wasn't about me being lavish and overspending and eating out all the time and buying the new freshest pair of J's. Right? It was about me making more money, building more income. So no, I didn't. I needed to make more money. Didn't need to spend less. So from what I understand, Dogecoin has been around for a few years. It has. It's definitely been around for a few years. The SNL skit was supposed to help, but the answer about it being a hustle hurt. I mean, so here's the thing. It didn't hurt. It just revealed the truth. People don't understand what the hell it is, right? And so if Warren Buffett got on SNL and did a skit about Coke and said, hey, I brought Coke because it's a hustle. By the way, Warren Buffett has one of the biggest positions of ownership in Coke stock. Nobody's selling off Coke because Warren Buffett said Coke is a hustle, because they know it's real and it has value and it makes money. So, again, everybody was waiting for Doge to hit $1 because they are buying crypto lottery tickets. That's all it is. A lot of these things, a lot of these bets, they're crypto bets, y'all. Let's just call it what it is, right? When I go to the casino, I never forget. They bust me out on the table many, many years ago in Vegas. My first time going to Vegas. I stopped playing blackjack, but I will play craps if I have money to gamble. The question is, do I have money to gamble? Most times I don't have money to gamble. I got kids that's going to college, so I need all that bread. But again, if you want to gamble, say it's gambling. Know it's gambling. Admit that it's gambling. And gambling and investing in the markets are not the same thing. However, just buying something because some dude says it's cool, who's a great marketer, by the way, is gambling. If you can catch the nuance in what I'm saying. All right, so Dwayne Mott says, I need to spend less. Spend my whole stimulus at tax assessor's office last week. Hey, gotta pay the taxes. Gotta pay the taxes. All right, plus some guy bet against it with a May 31 deadline for Dogecoin to hit $1 for him to donate $1 million to charity of the Doge. Yeah, all gimmicks. I need to make more money to handle this inflation. What inflation? Don't get me started on that. Lumber. So when we talk about inflation, I'm talking about long-term sustained prices, not short-term blips. They've been talking this inflation stuff since 2008, 2009, when they were doing cash for clunkers. And I say, where did the inflation go? What happened to it? It never came. Could we possibly have short-term spikes in prices? Absolutely. But your average cost of goods and services in the basket, what they call CPI, typically isn't going up. Why? Because we don't live in a closed society anymore. Our economic system isn't closed. Everybody has to compete in prices. That's why China's been able to do so many things so quickly. That's why Pakistan, has been able to do things. Vietnam, Brazil, many of these other countries, because everybody's able to eat off the United States now. I don't need it. Gotcha. Okay, well, again, if you don't need it, why not let it ride? Right? Again, just a question. I don't know. If you're going off my adage, I would say take the capital off and let the rest run. Should I take money out from crypto and reinvest it? I don't need it. If you don't need it, all right, so I'll say this. Do you believe in a coin? Whatever it is. Again, this is not investment advice for anybody. Please don't say what coin it is. Do you need it? I'll say this. Let's say you invested $1,000, you said 100 and you got 8. I would take my 100 off the table, put my capital back, and let the rest run. That's what I would do. I just said not to put it in the chat. Maybe you saw it later. That's cool. All right. Robert Briggs, how are you? CDS, how are you? Hey, Robin, how you doing? How you been? Uncle Dale, how are you? Biz Architect, how are you? OSDB 95, how are you? Hey, David, how are you? Kay Landers, how are you? Bullock Patrice says she's currently taking a real estate course. Congratulations. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, you can reinvest the capital into what? I don't know. What are you looking at? Or you can just put it in your savings. Savings is great, y'all. The money you save will save your life. Again, the money you save will save your life. All right. As a country, we're going to get back to manufacturing. Maybe. Let's see where the tax cuts come from or the tax incentives. If they add major tax incentives to manufacturing, maybe, but however, there's still a labor issue there. Unions, we just saw Amazon trying to unionize, right? The reason why I've seen some Apple are starting to come back and do some things here, but the reason why the majority of Apple is built in Taiwan and China, same thing for Nike, is because of labor costs. Labor costs are cheaper there. So, yeah. Yep. Put it in savings. If I put it in savings, I got to pay taxes. No. All right, let's walk this back. If you have an asset, I don't care if it's a crypto asset, a stock asset, a real estate asset, and you sell it and you make profits, you have to pay taxes on it. Now, if you're talking about if you put it in savings and you get interest on it and you got to pay taxes on it, yeah, but let's look at what we're talking about here. I don't know what your saving situation is, Miss Edith. I don't know what the levels are. Y'all know I preach having a year's worth of income, not earnings, income. And again, that is the goal, not the first milestone. Again, the goal, not the first milestone. All right. So if you put it in savings, then that helps to bolster your savings. I mean, you're not going to pay that much on tax on that anyway. So, yes, exactly, Jose. The cost of outsourcing is far better than employing Americans in manufacturing trades. Yep, that is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. Moving forward, how are you? I am Leah Marie, real estate coach. What's up, Coach Carter? Sam loves music. How are you, Big Wayne One? How are you? Welcome. All right. Okay. That's fine. But you asked me for my opinion, my professional opinion. I gave it to you. A year's worth, way above my head. But here's a question. I asked this question of y'all a while ago, right? By the way, I do know people who have a year's worth of savings in the tuck. So here's the question. I want y'all to ask this question. This is going to be the last question for the night. Then we're going to wrap up. I want to know, how would you feel if you had 1 year's worth of your salary and how would you feel? I asked this question a couple months ago. I was surprised by the response. How would you feel if you had 1 year's worth of salary and savings? How would you feel? So I've been around for a while. It doesn't matter if you have money and you're totally freaked out about the money, totally freaked out about losing the money, totally freaked out and you can't live because you have debt, right? It matters. What is the function of money? The function of money is to help you live better. To help you live better. So what happens again if another pandemic comes? By the way, that's not a far-fetched thing, right? I've been preaching this 1 year thing for a long time. When y'all was listening to skinny white ladies on TV who made their money from lawsuits that hate insurance, and they tell you only to have 3 months worth of expenses in your savings, and then the pandemic comes around, and people are out of work for over a year. Every recommendation that I give has some kind of rationale behind it. I'm going to give you the rationale behind mine. Why I preach to have a year's worth of money in savings. And normally, when outside was open, when life was regular, when everything was glorious, if you lost your job or you had to get a new job, it usually takes you 9 months. Let's just round it up to a year. If you have a year's worth of money in savings, you still are able to take advantage of opportunities. I mean, listen, if we're talking about creating wealth, you can't do it without savings. Listen here. Nobody ever got rich from savings, but nobody ever was able to get rich without saving. I'm going to say that again. Nobody ever got rich just from saving, but nobody was ever able to get rich without savings. Can y'all say that 5 times fast? Hey, John, how you doing? Right. The function of money is freedom. I would agree. Well said. So we're not in the mindset of using our money to get free. What are we talking about? Now, I know a lot of us want to play the banking game and try to chase down the highest interest yield when you got $100 in your savings account. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be better just to keep piling it up until you get 1,000 in your savings account, then 2,000 in your savings account, then 5,000, then 10,000? Take those raises, put them in your savings. Take those bonuses, put them in your savings. If you have a side hustle, work to make your side hustle make more money so you can build up your savings. If you need cash flow, you either need cash flow or a pile of cash. You either need cash flow or a pile of cash. Again, you either need cash flow or a pile of cash to work your way to freedom. One or the other. What's the common denominator? Cash. Cash. All right. So, okay, it's not that far-fetched. And again, I'm not saying you snap your fingers and boom, I got a year's worth of cash in the bank. And maybe I'm giving y'all too much all at one time. Maybe this is like a fire hose. Maybe I should just say, get your first $1,000, like that other guy who everybody loves for whatever reason, that makes money commissions off of all the things he recommends on his show. Would that be easier for y'all? I'll just give you one baby step at a time. Now, one of the things I do plan to do is to do more tutorial style things. But when we're just free flowing and we're just having a conversation, I'm just giving it to you raw. That's it. All right. So Dumas says, I would feel broke. You would feel broke. What? If you had a year's worth of salary and savings, you would feel broke. People at Walmart, no, they don't. Remember, people at Walmart get food stamps. They don't have pensions unless you're in management. Now, listen, if you're in management at Walmart, you can do good. You can do real well. They have great bonuses, great stock, great employee stock purchase program. By the way, if anybody here works where there's an employee stock purchase program, please evaluate it. Please take a look at it. Please, 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 please. What is an employee stock purchase program? Let's say you work for a big Fortune 500 company. Usually one of the perks of working for them is they allow their employees to buy the stock at a discount. So we talked about Coke earlier. Just for imagination's sake or example's sake, let's say Coke gets $50, right? This is an example, hypothetical. And you work there and they give all their employees a 10% discount on the current stock price in whatever corner. So now instead of buying Coke at $50, you're buying it at $45. So when you buy it for $45, you are able to benefit right away. You're able to benefit right away from the sale of that, or excuse me, from the purchase of that stock. Then you hold it. Again, it could be another way to create forced savings for yourself. I see a lot of people overlook that. A lot. All right. You talking about language now, baby. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. If y'all are not hip hop, y'all know I love me some hip hop. Old dirty bastard. Old Dirk McGirt. Okay. So listen, and I'm not saying that you can't do nothing with that cash, but let's take one step first. One step first. People at Walmart get food stamps because they lie about their income. No. A lot of people at Walmart, a lot of them don't make that much money. Some of them make minimum wage. I just discovered John's a hip hop head. He was helping me out with something the other day. All right. So again, how would you feel if you had 1 year's worth of salary in the cut in savings? Your average American makes roughly about $50,000. So let's go with that. If you have $50,000 in cash and savings, free and clear, how would you feel? I bet many of you would feel liberated. I bet many of you would feel a bit more courageous, a bit more able to take risk, to do some things, because you have a foundation. You have your own personal safety net. If you had that level of cash, again, everybody's talking to y'all about the sexiest cryptocurrency, the sexiest stock, the sexiest real estate, but nobody's talking about the fundamentals. Why is nobody talking about the fundamentals? Because the fundamentals aren't sexy. They're not fun. They're boring. I guess I'm talking to y'all about the boring stuff. But when I was younger, I played basketball, and my coach always said, what's the difference between a slam dunk and a layup? They're both worth 2 points. The moral of that story is that one is more fancy, the other isn't, but they both get you to the same place. So I'm going to leave y'all tonight with that. Let's not worry about fancy. Let's worry about effective. All right. Let's worry about being functional in everything we do. Functional finance, y'all. Not sexy finance, not social media driven finance, but functional finance that when it's time for you to make a move, you can make a move. When an emergency comes, you can handle it and then find opportunities. Jose brought up earlier, he said, when the market falls, where should we go? Well, I'm going to let y'all know something. There's a lot of people sitting with a lot of cash on the sidelines waiting for a correction. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to buy when blood is on the street. Yours truly, Brianna, how are you? Justice Junkie 926, how are you? Right. Don Johnson just said it. You move completely different when I have a safety net. Yep. No one is discussing the funky fundamentals. I never knew I'd stay up to 4 a.m. trying to hustle. Yeah. All right, doing mine. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. And I'm honored that you all are here every week or every time I come on, actually. So I appreciate you all. Justice Junkie, this is our Wealthy Wednesday section. I'm on every Wednesday at 8 p.m., every Wednesday or 8 p.m.-ish. And I answer questions. I answer people's money questions, whether they're about taxes, stocks. Justice Junkie, I don't think we've ever corresponded or talked before. So just real quick, because I'm ending the show right now. I've been in the financial services and tax arena for over 25 years. And I love to come on and help the community empower themselves with financial education. That's kind of the long and short. But listen, y'all, again, I appreciate you all tonight. We will be back. I am not going to be here again on Saturday. Again, tax deadline is Monday. If you have not completed your taxes, file an extension. Make sure that you don't get caught out here sleeping on these tax streets. I know tax ain't sexy, but everybody's afraid of the IRS. So pay your respects. Oh, so I've been watching your work with the Ivy Investor. Okay, yeah, Courtney's my own girl. Yep. I talked about her a couple of times tonight. All right, and Azaz says, how do you feel about AMC? As the outside opens up and people feel like they want to go to the movies, I know I'm not one of them. It might do good. It's currently overpriced right now, in my opinion. They ran up a little bit, but not a little bit. They ran up a lot with the GameStop trade, all fueled by Reddit folks. So I'm not really a fan. AMC was losing money before the pandemic. I'm not sure if they are a well-run enough company to continue to make a turn and make money after the pandemic, even though we're still in the pandemic. But you get what I'm saying. All right. So listen, y'all, I got to get back to work. I still got to eat. I got to get my vittles. But again, I appreciate you all. I'll be back next Wednesday. I think I want to do some pop-ups and drive-bys in the Financial Rebel Academy between here and there, but nothing significant, nothing planned out. So I will see you all then. Have a great night, everybody. So long.